What happened when the mean girl asked me to pretend to be her boyfriend at her family reunion? Victoria Ashford cornered me by my locker after chemistry class, looking more nervous than I'd ever seen her. She was the queen bee of our school, the girl who made freshmen cry with a single glance and had never spoken to me except to ask me to move out of her way. I need a favor, she said quietly, glancing around to make sure no one could hear. I almost laughed. Victoria Ashford needed something from me? What kind of favor? I asked, closing my locker. She took a deep breath. I need you to pretend to be my boyfriend at my family reunion this weekend. I'll pay you $200. My brain struggled to process this. Why me? And why do you need a fake boyfriend? Her usual confidence cracked slightly. Because you're believable, and I may have told my family I've been dating someone for the past year. The story came out in fragments. Victoria's family was obsessed with her personal life, constantly asking about boyfriends and when she'd settle down. Her cousins were all married or engaged, and she was tired of being the single disappointment. I invented a boyfriend to get them off my back. Described him as smart, quiet, studious. Sound familiar? I realized she'd essentially described me to her entire extended family. I should have said no immediately. Victoria had made my sophomore year miserable, spreading rumors that I was too weird to date anyone. She'd laughed when I asked Melissa to prom and got rejected, but something in her desperation made me curious. What exactly would I have to do? She pulled out her phone and showed me pictures from previous family gatherings. Just hold my hand, smile, answer basic questions about our relationship. Easy acting job. The reunion was at her grandmother's estate outside the city. Victoria picked me up Saturday morning, and during the drive, she coached me on our fake relationship. We met in AP History. You asked me to study for the midterm. I said yes because you're surprisingly funny when you're not being awkward. I noticed she'd memorized specific details. Our first date was mini golf. My favorite movie was apparently The Princess Bride. I'd given her a necklace for our 6-month anniversary. When we arrived, Victoria transformed. She introduced me to aunts, uncles, and cousins with genuine enthusiasm, her hand naturally finding mine. This is Daniel, my boyfriend I've been telling you about. Her family welcomed me warmly, asking about my college plans, my hobbies, what I liked about Victoria. The answers came easier than expected because Victoria had crafted our fake relationship around real details about my life. During dinner, Victoria's grandmother pulled me aside. That girl has been different this past year. Happier, more confident. You're good for her. I looked across the room where Victoria was laughing with her little cousins, and something clicked. She seemed genuinely relaxed here, not performing or calculating like at school. She talks about you constantly, her grandmother continued. Daniel said this, Daniel thinks that. I was beginning to wonder if you were real. The weirdest part was how natural everything felt. Victoria leaned against me during family photos, whispered jokes about her relatives in my ear, even fell asleep with her head on my shoulder during her uncle's endless slideshow. When her cousin asked how we knew we were right for each other, Victoria answered without hesitation. He sees the real me, not the version everyone expects, just me. That evening, walking around her grandmother's garden, Victoria was quieter than usual. Thank you for doing this. I know it's weird, asking someone who probably hates me. I was surprised by her vulnerability. I don't hate you. I just never understood why you were so mean to everyone. She stopped walking. Because being mean meant people left me alone. Being perfect meant no one expected me to actually be happy. The confession that followed changed everything. I've been watching you for 2 years, Daniel. The way you're kind to everyone. How you don't care what people think. When I created this fake boyfriend, I described you because you're everything I wish I could be. My heart was racing. Why didn't you just talk to me instead of making my life miserable? She looked down. Because girls like me don't end up with guys like you. This weekend is probably the closest I'll ever get. On the drive home, the car was silent until Victoria spoke. I know this was just pretend, but it was the best weekend I've had in years. Thank you for letting me borrow your kindness. When she dropped me off, she handed me an envelope with the money I'd forgotten about. As she drove away, I realized I didn't want the weekend to end either. Monday morning, Victoria was back to her usual self at school, but something had shifted. She caught my eye in the hallway and smiled. Not her usual calculating smirk, but the genuine smile I'd seen all weekend. When her friends made cruel comments about other students, she changed the subject. During lunch, she approached my table. Want to study together for the history test? For real this time. What I didn't expect was that pretending to be her boyfriend would make me realize I didn't want to pretend anymore.